Hello everyone, welcome back to Take the Stab. I'm JJ, and in this episode we will be recapping week 1 and previewing the Monday Night Football game. But before that, let's talk about the news. Browns are signing former Chiefs wide receiver Kadarius Toney to the practice squad. I think this is a good move. Kadarius Toney, he's proven that he can be a productive receiver with the ball in his hands. The only problem is if he can catch the ball and actually get the ball into his hands. But without the drops, he's a really good wide receiver. He's very explosive. However, I think this is a good move for the Browns. Steelers have signed tight end Pat Freiermuth to a 4-year, $48.4 million contract. I like this. I really do like Pat Freiermuth because they don't have a lot of receiving options behind George Pickens. He's been a very good tight end. I think he's like a top 5 tight end in the NFL, and I think especially for fantasy managers, this is good. Just for the team in general, this is really good, and I do like this move for the Steelers. Dolphins are signing Jalen Ramsey to a 3-year, $72.3 million extension. He will be making $24.1 million per year, and that is the NFL's highest paid cornerback. I really like this move. Jalen Ramsey, of course, he's in the Rams, is really good. Came to the Dolphins, have been very productive. He's had some injury problems throughout the last couple of years, but Jalen Ramsey, he's a very solid piece. The Dolphins lost Christian Wilkins, and the defense, they need sustainable players. I like that they extended Jalen Ramsey. Just make sure you have him, and I like this move for the Miami Dolphins. Cowboys have signed quarterback Dak Prescott to a 4-year, $240 million contract. He is making $600 million per year, and his contract has $231 million guaranteed and an $80 million signing bonus. This is a very interesting move. I know the Cowboys and Dak were looking to have a contract done, of course, right before the season opener. I think the Cowboys, they made the right move by signing him, but this is way too much money. He should not be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL in history by a lot. The former thing to beat was $55 million, and he crushed that. $60 million per year. I think this is insane. I do like Dak, but not that much. Now let's recap some games. On Thursday night, the Ravens lost to the Chiefs 27-20. This game was interesting for me. Early in the game, there was a lot of legal formation penalties for the Ravens. If you didn't see the ending, Isaiah Likely, with time expired, got in the end zone with a touchdown, but his toe was out of bounds and it was called no touchdown. The Chiefs won. A couple takeaways. Derrick Henry is not as involved in the rushing game as I'd like him to be. Isaiah Likely, he looked very involved in the game. Buck Andrews didn't do much. Like I said, he almost had that game-winning touchdown. He had 9 receptions for 111 yards and a touchdown. Lamar Jackson, his rushing game looked very good. He had 16 carries, 122 yards, and 0 touchdowns on the ground. Through the air, had 273 yards and a touchdown. And on the Chiefs side, I liked how the team looked. Rasheed Rice was very good. 7 receptions, 103 yards. Xavier Worthy, 2 receptions for 47 yards. I liked Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, 45 yards. I did like this team, how they just looked overall. I didn't see that Roquan Smith did get a pick, and I just liked how the Ravens looked. They put up a good fight, but couldn't quite pull it out in Kansas City. Tonight, the Eagles defeated the Packers 34-29 in Brazil. Jordan Love, he did get injured in this game. I'll talk more about the injuries later. But he was 17 for 24, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Josh Jacobs was 16 for carries for 84 yards, rushing yards. Jaden Reed had 1 carry for 33 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Reed also had a receiving touchdown. He had 4 receptions on 38 yards. And Christian Watson was 3 receptions, 13 yards and a touchdown. And defensively, both Xavier McKinney and Jair Alexander got an interception. Eagles side of things, Jalen Hurts went 20 for 34, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Saquon Barkley on the ground had 24 carries for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had a touchdown through the air, and so did A.J. Brown, who had 5 receptions for 119 yards. Reed Blankenship got an interception, which I thought was really good. Overall, this was a really good game. Jordan Love, like I said, he got injured. We'll get to more about that later. I really liked Saquon Barkley. He had 3 touchdowns over 100 yards on the first time with his new team. And I thought the Brazil environment was interesting. Like A.J. Brown was talking about how he didn't really think the fans knew when to cheer, but it was just a good environment overall. And the Eagles did come out with the win in Brazil. Game is the Panthers at Saints. The Saints won 47-10. Derek Carr, he went 19 for 23, 200 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. Alvin Kamara had 15 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown. Jamal Williams went 11 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. And receiving wise, Rashid Shaheed had 3 receptions, 73 yards and a touchdown. Foster Moreau had 4 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. And Juwan Johnson had 2 receptions, 26 yards and a touchdown. Chris Olave was not very involved. He only had 2 catches for 11 yards. But the Saints, they absolutely destroyed the Panthers. Jordan Howden got a pick, which I thought was good. And also, William Harris also got a pick. The Panthers were just not good in this game. Bryce Young, he had 13 for 30, 161 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. Miles Sanders on the ground was 5 for 22 and 0 touchdowns. Bryce Young was 4 for 12 and a touchdown on the ground. Receiving no touchdowns, the leader for the Panthers was Adam Thielen. He went 3 for 49 and no touchdowns, no really turnovers. Panthers just had a really tough game. People are hoping, including me, that Dave Canales can get Bryce Young back on track. 161 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks is not back on track. I really think that the Panthers want more from him. They just need more from the team overall. And I do think that the Panthers can get better. This is a learning experience for the Panthers. Let's talk about another game that wasn't close. The Vikings beating the Giants 28-6. Let's go to the Giants side of things. Daniel Jones was 22 for 42, 186 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. The rushing leader for the Giants was Devin Singletary. He had 10 carries for 37 yards and no touchdowns. The receiving leader for the Giants was Malik Nabers, the rookie, with 5 receptions, 68 yards, and no touchdowns. And defensively, Darius Musu did get a pick. For the Giants, it's just not a good look. When you no offense to Sam Darnold, but it's not a good look when you lose to a Sam Darnold-led Vikings who are banged up and you're at home. It's just not a good look. Not a good look for Daniel Jones, but at least Malik Nabers is the number 1 receiver on the team. On the Vikings side of things, Sam Darnold looked good. He was 19 for 24, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Aaron Jones went 14 for 94 and a touchdown. Receiving wise, Justin Jefferson led the team. 4 receptions for 59 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Nailor had 1 catch for 21 yards and a touchdown. And Harrison Smith and Alec Van Geekel both got picks. I like the Vikings. I like the way they looked. I was shocked that they were this big with Sam Darnold, but I think this is good for the Vikings and a good building block they can use. Patriots defeated the Bengals on the road 16-10. This is really shocking for me that the Patriots won. The Bengals are the better team, but the Patriots just went in to Cincinnati and didn't. Jacoby Brissett was 19 for 24, 121 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Ramondre Stevenson, 25 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown. The receiving lead for the Patriots was Austin Hooper. He had 2 catches for 31 yards and no touchdowns. The Patriots just got the job done. And on the Bengals side, Joe Burrow was 21 for 29, 164 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Zach Moss was 9 for 44 and a touchdown. And the receiving leader was Jamar Chase, who was 6 for 62, no touchdowns. This was a really good game. I think that the Patriots winning is shocking. I really do think this is good for the Patriots. It does not look like T. Higgins played, and I think this is good for the Patriots going forward. Next, we got the Steelers at the Falcons. The Steelers won 18-10 in Atlanta with Justin Fields starting. Justin Fields, he was 17 for 23, 156 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Najee Harris is the rushing leader, 20 carries for 70 yards, and the receiving leader was George Pickens. He had 6 catches for 85 yards. Both Deshaun Elliott and Deontay Jackson both got picks. And I think this is good. Russell Wilson was injured, so he couldn't play, so they put Fields in. And Fields, he was good. He had 14 rushes, 57 yards, with an average of 4.1 yards per carry. That's good for a rushing quarterback. And on the Falcons side, Kirk Cousins, 16 for 25, 155 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Bijan Robinson, 18 for 86, no touchdowns. Raven McLeod was the receiving leader, 4 catches for 52 yards. Kyle Pitts, 3 catches for 26 yards and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson, 5 catches for 43 yards. And Drake London, 2 catches for 15 yards. This is kind of scary if you're a fantasy manager. Seeing Bijan Robinson having good rushing, but Kyle Pitts got a touchdown, but was the 3rd receiver on his own team. Drake London was the 4th. It's kind of scary to see Raven McLeod as first receiver, but Kirk Cousins didn't have a good game anyway. You have to see more from Kirk, but I do think the Steelers did good, and I like this win. And this is good for Justin Fields going on. It's Texans at Colts. The Texans won 29-27. This is a really good game overall. Let's look at some stats. C.J. Stroud was 24 for 32, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. On the ground, Joe Mixon was 30 for 159 and a touchdown. Nico Collins was the leading receiver. He went 6 for 117 and no touchdowns. Tank Dell went 3 for 40, and Stephon Diggs went 6 for 33 and 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins, he had a really good deep shot. I really do think that Nico Collins is a good deep receiver. Tank Dell can spread the field, and Stephon Diggs is good in the slot. Defensively, the rookie safety Cameron Bullock did get a pick. And on the Colts side of things, Anthony Richardson, he went 9 for 19, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Richardson on the ground was the leading rusher, 6 carries, 56 yards and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor was 16 for 48 and a touchdown on the ground. Receiving wise, Alec Pierce went 3 for 125 and a touchdown. Ashton Dulin went 1 for 54 and a touchdown. Michael Pittman had 4 catches for 31 yards, and Adonai Mitchell had 1 catch for 2 yards. Anthony Richardson, you like to see a little more accuracy and completion from him, a little more attempts. He was good on the ground. Alec Pierce, he had a couple deep shots in there that touchdown. Ashton Dulin, he had 1 surprising deep shot. Pittman, his low usage is fine. He'll go back to it. And Adonai Mitchell is not his lack of usage kind of concerns me. Great overall, but games for the Texans, and they did come out with the win. It was a really good game. Now let's talk about some results from the second half of the games. The Bills defeated the Cardinals 34-28. The Titans lost to the Bears 24-17. The Dolphins made a comeback against the Jaguars and won 20-17 at home. The Seahawks won 26-20 in Seattle. The Chargers won 22-10 in LA. The Cowboys won the road and beat the Browns 33-17. The Buccaneers beat the Commanders 37-20 at home. And the Lions beat the Rams 26-20 at home in overtime. Tonight, the Jets are on the road to take on the 49ers at 8:15 p.m. on Monday Night Football on ESPN. Mr. McCaffrey is dealing with a calf and Achilles injury. He is inactive versus the Jets tonight. Packers quarterback Jordan Love is suffering an MCL sprain. Malik Willis is expected to start against the Colts. Puka Nacua has sprained his PCL. He'll miss 4 games. And Panthers defensive tackle Derrick Brown has suffered a potential season-ending knee injury. Let's go through each of these injuries and I'll talk about what they mean. Christian McCaffrey not playing tonight, that's a huge deal. Him and Trent Williams basically are the offense runs to them. Without McCaffrey, I think they might not win this game. I mean, that secondary is so good, you can't force Brock Purdy to pass against Sauce Gardner and them. I think that's really bad for them. Jordan Love's out for like 4 to 6 weeks. That's not good for the Packers. I think Packers fans are glad it's not a season ending, but I think that they still can make the playoffs. Malik Willis isn't that bad, and he could probably start against the Colts. Puka Nacua, that's a tough injury for the Rams to have. Well, at least to have Cooper Kupp to have a consistent receiver, but I think that they want to have Puka in there and not they like him. And the Panthers, Derek Brown, that's just a bad injury. The Panthers are already very depleted. They don't have a very good roster and losing one of the best players. That just isn't good for the Panthers. That's it for today. Thanks for listening to Take the Snap.